Hey guys, welcome back. This is gonna be a quick video. We're just gonna talk about the higher time frames of Bitcoin and to just look where the draw and liquidities are. So it's kind of like a lookout for what we could expect from this week. And then I'll also go through the economic calendar, and we're just gonna look at like which days we have to be careful about, like where high impact news events and so on. So first I want to start on the weekly chart, and I'm just gonna draw out more or less the draws on liquidity, so where price might draw to eventually. We have a fair value gap up here. I think you can see that quite well. Below this low and above this high, we still have a fair value gap where price might eventually go to. But this is quite high up. I think the closer target is this low, which we are very close to. So this is kind of what I'm expecting from this week, that price pierces this low. And then I cannot say if price goes further down, because there are fair value gaps over here on this side of the chart. Come on, let me, damn it. Yeah, there we go. There's a fair value gap. Actually, draw this out here. Then there's another fair value gap right here. So there are two fair value gaps down below, where once it breaks this low, it could go down to these, or the other case, which it might, like what it might do is break this low and then come back up to go into this fair value gap, like rebalance this and then eventually go lower. But actually, like, this is something I cannot tell you. I don't know. I just can tell you like where the draws on liquidity are, so where price might be headed. For me, I think we're going to break this low, as we're quite close to it. Like we came, like what was that? Was the low 18,125, and that is 17,622. So we are very close. We are within $1,000 of this, and yeah, I think we might get very, like I think we're gonna break this low, take the liquidity from here, and then from there I don't know where we are headed. Maybe further down, maybe we go up. Like there's only two possibilities really. What I also want to point out is that currently there is a fair value gap between last in the week before last week, the low, and this week's high. I mean, price action for this week has just begun, but there is still a fair value gap in here. So price might go all the way up here and then still continue down. So we might have people thinking, okay, yeah, it's a bullish week because it goes up, but eventually it's gonna break down. So just keep that in mind, that price might go up to fill this fair value gap and still have a bearish candle on the weekly chart. So yeah, that's pretty much what I want to talk about on the weekly, and then we jumped right into the daily chart. I'm gonna leave the weekly drawings on just so you can see them. So what that means is price could go all the way up here. And what that tells me is here is a high and here's a fair value gap on the daily. So I'm removing this one. So price could go up here and then crash down to this low, or go to this low and then push back up here. So like there are the draws on liquidity, and above this low there's this high. So that's a liquidity target, and then there's the higher high with the fair value gap above here. So that would be a great target. Like if price reverses and starts to be bullish, then this would be a great target, a great final target, because I don't know if we would push all the way through, but it might go here. But as I said, we're very close to this low, and I think this low is gonna be broken. So I think the liquidity is gonna be taken here in this week. I don't know if it's gonna be today, tomorrow, what day, it does not matter to me. It just matters to me that my weekly, that I'm expecting a bearish weekly candle. So I'm looking for downward moves. But I have to be aware there's a fair value gap up here, there's liquidity up here, and above this high there's also going to be liquidity. So like all these highs, this high, this high, so I have to be aware that price might push up into this. As we saw on the weekly, it might rebalance the imbalance which is between this weekly candle and the candle of the week before last week. So just to be aware of that, that even though we, or I am expecting a bearish candle, we have to be aware that it can push higher and then still go down and take out this low. But as I said, very close to this low, so my target for this week is this low, or the break of this low. And with that, I mean, that's the preview analysis done, because there's not that much more to it. It's just like drawing out liquidity targets and seeing where it's close to, and it's very close to this low, so that's the low I think we're gonna break for this week. So let's shift the focus to the economic calendar. Okay, today, Monday, September 26th, there is one medium impact news event at 4 p.m. It's an FOMC, Member Master Speaks event, or news event, so a member speaks. These can infuse some volatility, so be aware of that. So that's the one we're looking for. This could infuse some volatility. Be aware of that. It might take out a high you're not expecting or a low you're not expecting. But other than that, there's nothing in here which is going to influence price too hard. I mean, Bitcoin. It can, like for example, this one, the Euro event, definitely influences Euro, but we're not focusing on that. We are only focusing on high and medium impact news events for US dollar. On Tuesday, there are actually like multiple high and medium impact news events. So Tuesday could be interesting. First, 7:30 a.m. Fed Chair speaks, high impact news events early in the morning, and then there are two medium impact news events at 8:30 a.m. But as there is a high impact news event prior to that, I don't expect these to have too much of an impact. So watch out for this one, for the early one. And then again at 10 a.m. we have, 9:55 and 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. with a couple one. Again, another FOMC member speaks at 9:55 a.m. and then at 10 a.m. we have a high impact news event, consumer confidence, and then two more medium impact news events. So I'm expecting price to, I don't know, move around a bit in here, or like after 9:55 a.m. and 10 a.m. So this could, or probably is going to infuse some volatility into the market, so be aware of that. On Wednesday, we again have at 10 a.m. and all the way to 10:15 a.m. we have like medium impact news events, and then a high impact news event at 10:15 a.m. Fed Chair Powell speaks. Be aware of that. Like high impact news events can always infuse volatility, and you just have to be aware of that, and don't get caught up in the price action when you see that. Zoom out on the chart, look at a 15-minute, and then look at a bigger picture. That's always what I do. Then Thursday, actually, there are no high impact news events for US dollar on a Thursday. There are only 8:30, two medium impact news events. Probably don't do too much to the price, but could. Like for medium impact news events, you always have to be aware of that they could infuse volatility, but they don't have to. So high impact news events usually always infuse volatility, and medium impact news events don't always infuse, but there's likely to be some volatility in the market once these news drop. But it does not have to be. Just be aware of that. And then again, 9:30 am, another FOMC member speaks. This can infuse some volatility, and then again at 1 p.m. another FOMC member speaks, which also can infuse some volatility. So just be aware of the medium impact news events, as they can infuse volatility, but they don't have to. I mean, the same is true for high impact news events. They don't have to infuse volatility, but they're more likely to. And then last but not least, we have Friday, which has 8:30 a.m. a high impact news events for US dollar. This probably is going to infuse some volatility, or at least a bit. And then 9 a.m. another FOMC member speaks. Also might infuse some volatility, and then again at 10 a.m. I don't expect this one to do too much, as we already have the high impact news event at 8:30 a.m. and then another one, or a medium impact news event at 9 a.m. So I think after this we already have a direction for the day, and then 10 a.m. is not gonna do too much to the price action. But yeah, that's all the news which dropped this week. It's quite a news heavy week. Like, we have a high impact news event nearly every day. We don't have one for Monday. We have one for Tuesday. We have one for Wednesday. We don't have one for Thursday, and we can have one for Friday. So 3 out of 5 days. That's quite good. And on Wednesday, actually on Thursday, where there is no high impact news events, there are a couple of medium impact news events. So should be an interesting week. As I said, I'm expecting this low to be broken. It does not have to. Like, price can push up, that's totally valid, as there are fair value gaps above, and so there's liquidity above. But as the direction has been down and there's liquidity closely below, I just think this low is what we are gonna break this week. And yeah, that's all from my side. I hope everything I just said is more or less clear. If it's not, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer your questions. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, because I might post some updates there during the week, or setups during the week. And yeah, as I said, that's all from my side. I hope you have a great week. Don't get caught up in the price action. Journal everything you see. You can also journal like this, your weekly preview, if you may. You can journal that, and then at the end of the week, see how you did, like what liquidity price attacked, and so on. Yeah, and as I said, I hope you have a great week. I hope you're well, and I see you next time. Bye.